Now moving to the step 3 is the reasoning depth, or I would say it is the predictive thinking. Now, once tokenized and framed with the context, so we have already created these things, we have tokenized it and we have framed it within the context. The AI doesn't understand like a human, okay? I have mentioned you, it predicts. But these predictions ideally forms a kind of reasoning based on the previous learnings, or I would say training time learning. Got it? Now it kind of look at your word, compare them with the billions of learning patterns where it goes through training, okay, and generates a most probable continuation kind of thing. So there are a lot of patterns, okay, these are the patterns, I'm just symbolizing that. Okay, these are the patterns. So for my this particular words, out of these patterns, which is more fuzzy to me for my task to predict the next word, so based on that it will choose one pattern and align that with the most probability. Okay, that's how it reasons. So the reason is basically a statically defined model. So I would say it is a statically reasonable pattern. Now let's take an example. Over here we will take this very simple example. I will take same prompt again. My prompt is like explain how a rainbow is formed. So this is my prompt. This is my first draft. My second draft is you are a science teacher explaining to 8-year-old how a rainbow is formed. Now for these two prompts, this is same question, right? But if you see, the context over here is quite different from the context over here. Now, in the same way, because AI follows the reasoning path, the path of responding using prompt 1 shifted towards more child-friendly structured answer in prompt 2. So this is because it got statically reasoned from the previously trained patterns and it predicts the next token based on that probability. So because the AI reasons path shifted, it now simulates a teacher's persona in the second and adjust its vocabulary to a 8-year-old person, right? So this is how the context changes, and this understanding of prompt and understanding of the prompt to the intelligent machine is basically kind of a loop of what, prompt response loop. Now I will define this loop in action. Let's say I will draw it. So you provide a prompt, okay, that prompt get into tokens. So I would say tokenization happens over here. Then based on that you derived a context to it, then it creates a reasoning, then formulates a response based on the most probabilistic continuation of it, and then sends to the feedback. Now, this is an entire loop of a prompt response loop in a LLM model. Now, if I want to explain this to you in a very layman terms, think it as a game again, a block game, right? Now, each word is kind of a block. Now, your sentence is defining a pattern, okay, and the context shapes your what you are building, okay, what you are building. Got it? So remember this as a layman. Now, if you have over scattered blocks, a model may guess wrong. That means your words is quite discontinuous. Then it will not provide that meaningful context, and your response will be a lot different from what you are asking for. So a well-designed prompts feels structured and predictable. Now, this is very, very important when you craft a prompt. Okay, remember that while crafting the prompt, these two terms, that it must be structured and it must be predictable. Okay, so this is the capability of your prompt. Now, for people who knows the prompt response loop and have already advanced in the playground, okay, they have written something. Now, think prompt writing as a step on step working, where my first step is that I have to optimize it as per the length. Remember, too short is kind of equivalent to under specification, and too long is kind of we have provided bombarded the context, so it will dilute the context. Okay, so bit balancing is the key. Give enough instructions for direction, not for distractions. So this is the first rule when you build the prompt. Second is leverage the context. So in multi-turn conversation, when it is happening multiple times, restate the essentials. Okay, AI model doesn't have persistent memory, that you know. Each turn depend on what remains in the window. So if you have a window, now if I occupied this and next this, then definitely I, because my window size is limited, I have to shift this to next portion and I have to discard the previous one, right? So this is how the shifting of window work. And because of this, the context get matched up. So rephrasing earlier context concisely. So there are strategies that we have to summarize what we have already provided in the past. Okay, so there are prompt strategies, we will talk about that later, but few of the strategies are based on this particular concept, that how we will leverage the context retention. Okay, now third is that always use role based prompting. So assigning a role sharpens reasoning. You have to understand, provide the context. For example, in the previous sample, we have said that, okay, you are a school teacher, right? That means I have to explain to a student, and it provided the context, better context. Now, your prime model interprets every subsequent token through that particular school teacher lens. Okay, activating the relevant knowledge for a 8-year-old over here, and setting the tone is very very important when you are acting as a school teacher. So it does that. Okay, now how it does that? Because it goes through that response, prompt response loop without any unnecessary instructions. You have to be careful while writing the prompt. Got it? Now let's deep dive into this, and in next video I will give you some basic example, okay, to perform something, some activity on the ChatGPT playground, or on ChatGPT website. Okay, so this comes with a lot of practice. I recommend you to do a lot of experiments with what I am teaching you, and later on you will see a great transition of your prompt writing, where if you are writing from a layman psychology, then you will definitely be a advanced person in writing the prompt. Now these things definitely provide you an edge over other people. If you practice a lot, it will definitely build your own understanding. You may exceed what I know, and you can tell me, okay, what are the observation you have seen in the comment box. Okay, so we'll see you in the next video.